Welcome back to Research Design Build. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to replace the low beam headlight bulb on a 2011 Chevy 2500 HD. Each headlamp has 4 different bulbs. 2 are for the turn signals, the lower one is for your high beams, and the upper one is for your low beams. The procedure is the same for all of these if you're going to replace them, although the bulbs will be different. The bulb needed is a standard H11 bulb. And don't get too caught up when you're at the parts store. I would just get the generic brand, whatever is cheapest. This one is around $10, but I could have spent $30 or even $60. I wouldn't go with the more expensive bulbs. Save your money, put them to something more useful. So you're going to need a T25 Torx bit, and then I have a 6-inch extension and a 3/8 drive ratchet. Here you can see that right over top of the headlight, you can kind of sort of see down and see the bulb that we want to replace, the connection that we have to undo. Now to gain access to that, the easiest way is to remove the air box, and you only need to remove the bottom air box. So once you get the 4 Torx head screws off, then you can pull off the bottom part of the air box, and then you'll have access to all of the sockets for all of the bulbs. Now the harness has 2 little tabs on it that connect into the bulbs, so you're going to want to pry those back with your fingers just lightly and then pull down on the connector to disconnect. And this is kind of what the connector looks like once it's disconnected. Once you have the wiring harness disconnected, then you can twist the actual bulb counterclockwise to unscrew it, and it's just a 1/4 turn, and then you'll be able to pull it out. When you're handling the new bulb, you want to make sure that you don't touch the glass portion of the bulb, just touch the plastic piece. At that point, we're ready for reinstallation, and it's the exact opposite of what you just did. So you want to put that in with the electrical connector facing to the passenger side or to the turn signal side and get it seated, and then turn it 90 degrees down so the connector is facing downwards, and then you'll be able to plug it back in. At this point, we're ready to reinstall the air box. And so this sits down on a couple of different grommets that you can just push down in place. So the trickiest thing is trying to just get it lined up with all of those and then pressing it firmly down into place so that it locks into those sort of push style connectors. And install your air filter, and great opportunity to replace this air filter if yours is a little dirtier. Now you want to make sure that this is fully seated, and when you bring the top of the air box down, you really want to make sure that you've got it sitting just perfect on all sides. When I used to work in the automotive industry, this was the #1 failure of engines that came in, with people improperly installing air filters and having dirt just fly right past the air filter and into the engine. I like to install these Torx screws by hand first, because they are just going into plastic. Could end up not really getting them threaded in the way that they were originally threaded in, and you'll create a second set of threads, and you can only do that a few times before it's all stripped out. So I like to try to make sure that I'm engaging with the original set of threads that were created when the screws were first installed. Here you can see you've got all 4 that are kind of around, and this is where that sort of 6-inch or 8-inch extension really plays in and helps you gain access to them. And again, you don't really want to tighten these super tight. They are just going into plastic. You just want to get them snug. With those snug down, we can test our work and make sure that we still got our lights functioning. As you can see, we've got our low beams operating properly, and our high beams are still operating as well. And with that, the job is done. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.